Welcome to the Bald Brad Show, folks. We have a spicy one for you this morning, so go ahead and make sure you got your cup of coffee with you and a nice breakfast because Jen Psaki gets pissy with Peter Doocy of Fox News during a press conference on Monday as Peter Doocy called out the mismanagement of Joe Biden as well as thousands of Americans being stranded in Afghanistan, and Jen Psaki doesn't like it. She gets all pissed off and lies to the American people. Shocker. Not only that, we also have a recent poll out done by Rasmussen that's showing that Joe Biden's poll numbers are not looking good, and Democrats and Joe Biden are both terrified because we got 2022 coming up and it's not looking good for Democrats. With that being said, this article comes from our friends over at the Daily Wire. If you're not already a member, please go over and become a subscriber today. It is written specifically by the Daily Wire News. There's no specific author for this one, and they title it Psaki, It's Irresponsible to Claim Americans Are Stranded in Afghanistan While Thousands Still There. What a remarkable statement. This one starts off saying White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said during a press briefing on Monday that it was false and irresponsible to say that Americans have been stranded in Afghanistan, even as thousands of Americans reportedly remain trapped in the country that is now controlled by Taliban extremists, in other words, terrorists. But here's the exchange between Fox News' Peter Doocy and Jen Psaki. Let's go ahead and roll the footage.
Does the president have a sense that most of the criticism is not of leaving Afghanistan, it's the way that he has ordered it to happen by pulling the troops before getting these Americans who are now stranded? Does he have a sense of that?
First of all, I think it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded. They are not. We are committed to bringing Americans who want to come home. We are in touch with them via phone, via text, via email, via any way that we can possibly reach Americans to get them home if they want to return home.
There are no Americans stranded is the White House's official position on what's happening in Afghanistan right now.
I'm just calling you out for saying that we are stranding Americans in Afghanistan when we have been very clear that we are not leaving Americans who want to return home. We are going to bring them home, and I think that's important for the American public to hear and understand.
Don't you just love how she has the cojones to not just get spicy with Peter Doocy and the American public, but also to lie to everybody? I mean, how many shows have we done here? We're just calling her out on her BS. But her and the Biden administration are okay with lying because they know the media is going to rub their shoulders and not report on it in the same way that they reported Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Sean Spicer, Kayleigh McEnany. None of those people, they're not going to cover it in the same way they covered the Trump administration, so they know they're going to get away with crap like this by lying. I mean, hell, folks, the New York Times just reported 2 days ago on Sunday that 15,000 Americans, roughly, are still stranded in Afghanistan. As of August 14th, they've only been able to evacuate 2,500 Americans, which leaves over 10,000 Americans today still stuck in Afghanistan, and she and Biden have the balls to say that they are not stranded there. What would you call it? They're just on vacation with freaking terrorists that are raping dead people. That was reported in the news. Raping women in general, putting out Sharia law. I mean, it's just, what do you think they're on freaking Hawaii, just on a nice vacation? What, are they not stranded? What do you call it? They're just chilling as people are beheaded and shot in the streets. What is going on with this administration? I mean, domestically, it's chaos. Foreign policy, it's chaos. Globally, it's chaotic. I mean, you just decided to wake up, and I was sick last week, so I didn't have an opportunity to report on all this crap. But I mean, Joe Biden's handling of this is truly astonishing. I mean, the guy just doesn't have an idea what's going on in the world, literally. I mean, we say that a lot of times metaphorically, like, oh man, the guy doesn't have a clue. No, literally, this guy doesn't have a clue what is going on in the global affairs of things, neither domestically, neither does his vice president, by the way. She's going to Vietnam for some reason. Like, now is a good time. This is the same lady that thought it was just a good idea to have a conversation with another president in South America because of some issue with global warming, and that was going to stop thousands upon thousands of people coming through the U.S.-Mexico border as she handed out cookies when she went down there. That's still not under control, folks. We just have over 1 million people apprehended. Over 1 million people. You got inflation going through the roof. You're paying up the wazoo at the gas pump, at the grocery store. And Joe Biden now thinks it's a good idea to pull out of Afghanistan and just hand billions of dollars of equipment over to the Taliban. They're fully loaded up, folks. They're trying to figure out how to fly helicopters and jets. Jesus Christ, man. It's just... I'm laughing because I'm so baffled. I am so baffled that people voted for this guy. And when we get into those numbers here, they're bad, but it's also like people are still in full approval of this dude. I mean, how much more can this guy destroy things, and make terrible decisions. What more does he have to do to prove that this guy's an idiot? It's unbelievable. They spent 4 years bitching about Trump, and he was actually handling things pretty good. Peace agreements left and right. And Joe Biden hands an entire nation, an entire country to a terrorist organization that's beheading people. Literally was reporting that the Taliban are freaking raping dead women. They're putting in Sharia law. You don't see any women outside. They're just freaking spraying into the streets, just mowing people over. They're still beheading people. God only knows what's going on with the Christians. A lot of Christians aren't being heard of from there. You know, they're being killed in large numbers. But Joe Biden is just, he just pretended like everything's okay. Not a big deal. Oh, my vice president's going to go to Vietnam for some reason. It's just, guys, you can't make this shit up. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cuss, but it's you listen to Ben Shapiro's show or any conservative talk about this, it's you haven't seen something like this in 15 plus years. I don't think I've seen something like this in my lifetime. This is astonishing stuff that's going on with this president of the United States. And like I said, people are still in approval of this guy. A Rasmussen poll just came out recently here. This is from the New York Post that is writing this, and it says fewer than 40% of likely voters believe Joe Biden is carrying out the duties of the presidency, according to a poll released Friday, as the U.S. evacuation of Afghanistan continues to spiral out of control. Again, this report is from Rasmussen, but they found that 39% of respondents thought that Biden was doing the job of the president. Almost 40%. Well, 51% answered that others are making decisions for the 78-year-old senile man. You know, the guy that's comatosing all the time. Who the hell knows what's going on here? Loses his dentures around the White House. And 10% said that they were not sure. 10% were just like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I live under a rock. Like, this isn't going to have repercussions for us or our allies here. Hell, you just handed a lot of advantages to Russia, Syria, Iran, a lot of territory now that China wants to take over here. You just handed that over to them. What do you say? I mean, you could ramble and bitch for hours about this. Unbelievable. That represents a drastic drop from a similar poll conducted in March, only a few months ago, where the response to the question was evenly divided 47-47. So massive drop in polls here. In addition, 52% of respondents said they were not confident that Biden was physically and mentally up to the job and being commander-in-chief, compared to 46% who said they were. So again, yes, it's drastic numbers saying like, hey, this guy's not physically or mentally capable. We all seen how this guy walks across the grass to the, not just to the chopper, but also getting back from the chopper. He pooters around like he's wearing slippers. And the guy's wearing nice business shoes and he's pootering around everywhere. Like I said, he doesn't know where he's going. We all seen that footage where he's trying to just get to the Oval Office and he can't make it. You're supposed to go right, Joe. You don't go straight and then hook around and then go in. You go right and you go through the door, man. It's been like that, hell, for hundreds of years. But Joe Biden can't figure out how the hell to get to his own office, the most famous office in the entire world, and our own president doesn't know how to get to the presidential Oval Office. It's just, what the hell? And people, like I said, remember, 42% of respondents say they were not confident in Joe Biden's mental. That means there's a lot of people out there, millions of Americans, that are totally on board. This guy's fine. He has his shit together. He's good. What he's doing is fine. There's no issues. There's no eyebrows that need to be raised. Well, this was a phone and online survey of 1,000 likely voters that was taken Thursday of this week after Biden had attempted to defend his decision to pull out of combat forces out of Afghanistan before pulling our own people out. Forget it. Leave the equipment. Leave the aerobics equipment, the fighter jets, all the machine guns, all the ammunitions. We want to make sure that we fully equip those terrorists with everything that they need on the taxpayer dime. I don't give a shit about trying to pull any Americans out. I want all our soldiers out, and we'll focus about everybody on later. Who cares if people are jumping from planes just trying to hang on? I'm trying not to cough here because I'm still a little sick, but this guy's handling of everything. And I know I'm repeating myself. It's freaking mind-blowing. It really is. And it's mind-blowing that the Democrats aren't calling this guy out or nothing like that. Can you imagine if Trump did this? Can you imagine? I'd be ripping him a new one. I understand that he was already talking about pulling out. That's what she said. But you know, it's just, this guy, he has to go, man. He ain't going to make it 4 years. Like I said, 2022, I'm seeing us wrapping everything up. I don't see this guy just rebounding off something like this and just getting everything under control. the massive problems this guy not just created for his presidency, but also future presidency is immeasurable, you guys. Is immeasurable. Even with inflation, oh, it's going to fix itself out in a few months. It will rebound back in a couple years. Maybe it will. I don't know how you're going to have that rebounded when you're spending at more than any president in human history. Okay, you're spending way more than anybody else. You're not fixing it in the budget either to sit there and maybe have a surplus or figure that out so that we could pay for this thing. So inflation, I just don't see it just miraculously disappearing. Okay, you're not opening the economy up in the way that it should be here. You're keeping everything shut down. Like I said, you have a massive influx of what's going on at the U.S.-Mexico border here. That's a huge problem. You still haven't got COVID under control. I understand the FDA just approved the Pfizer vaccine. A lot of people still don't feel confident. Hell, Mr. President, you didn't feel confident taking it when you were running for president. Neither did your vice president. Neither did your staff. But all of a sudden, you're all on board for it because you got into office. And now you're having an oh shit moment because you have Americans not wanting to take it because they don't feel safe about taking it. Again, I'm vaccinated. I think you should all be vaccinated. If you get COVID, more likely you will get COVID because the vaccine just doesn't stop you from getting COVID like they marketed at the beginning, but you won't get it as severely as you would if you were unvaccinated. So I'm a big supporter of getting the vaccine here. Furthermore, Joe Biden, like I said, just plans on pulling out of Afghanistan first without removing our equipment, without removing the people first, and then getting everybody out if you're going to do it that way. The dude just hands it an entire nation. And I know I'm repeating myself, but what the F? An entire nation to terrorists. What reality are we living in? Ask yourselves, what reality are we freaking living in? Well, there you have it. There you have it, guys. People are still approving of Joe Biden shenanigans. Jen Psaki constantly lying to the American public. We've done a ton of episodes on that. Hell, my most famous episode is calling out Jen Psaki because she loves to lie to the American people. And remember, she's a mouthpiece for Joe Biden. Joe Biden consistently lies to the American public. He has freaking press people constantly already pre-picked, already pre-vetted for him. He has his note cards, which he loses control over and can't figure out where he's at. He fights with a teleprompter on a freaking weekly basis. We've never looked more weak, you guys. We've never looked more weak. And this is going to have, again, massive repercussions for whoever's the next president. And pray to God we got freaking Trump or DeSantis run the show next 2024 because, hell, we got to get this stuff fixed here and we got to have our allies on our back because China and Russia, Iran and Syria and all of the above are sitting there expanding their militaries here while we're sitting here not expanding anymore because you got Democrats in office acting like knuckleheads, lying and leaving Americans stranded in foreign territory under freaking Taliban rule here. God forbid. God forbid, man. I got to watch what I say here. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching the Bald Brad Show. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video, and I will see you tomorrow here, folks, on the Bald Brad Show.